Hi everyone, welcome to Transitions. Today we're recording at Hunters Bay Radio's satellite studio in Bracebridge. I'm Anne Wagner, your host, and today I'm chatting with Heather Hay of Muskoka Pride. Welcome, Heather.
Hello.
So I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about Muskoka Pride.
Well, we're a not-for-profit organization whose mission is to provide visibility and inclusion for the LGBTQA community of Muskoka. And we host various events and do advocacy work and try and raise awareness throughout the district.
So maybe you could explain to us what the acronym LGBTQA stands for those of us not familiar.
And there can be more letters as well that aren't always included. The L stands for lesbian, G stands for gay, B for bisexual, T can be transgender or transsexual. Sometimes there's both T's. The Q can be queer or questioning, and A is for allies.
So it sounds like a very inclusive approach.
The community is a diverse group of people. There is a movement within some of the younger community to just to call ourselves queer, to reclaim that word that has a lot of negative connotations for some of the older community, but to provide a term that might be more inclusive for people who aren't quite sure how to be defined or don't want to fit within traditional boxes.
And so you also mentioned allies. So does that mean that people don't necessarily have to identify as a particular category to get involved?
That's right. We have members of the community who support and come out to our events, whether it's the picnic and all the family members who come. And so it's for our allies as well as those who are self-identify within our community.
And so how long has Muskoka Pride been around?
This is, I think, our sixth event, or our seventh annual picnic.
Wow.
So we've had picnics, they started out smaller, and this year we're having a full week of activities, so we're calling it more of a Pride Festival instead of just a one-time picnic event.
So it's really expanding then?
We've grown a fair bit. We're getting a lot of calls to come and speak at different organizations, to be a part of some of the planning tables that the district's holding. There's a recognition that we're a voice that needs to be heard and should be a part of some of the decisions being made in our community.
So that's a big shift, is it, in terms of having recognition at decision-making or different tables?
Just people are recognizing that this is a part of the community they don't know how to support or reach out to. Being diverse doesn't mean just putting a rainbow flag on your window. You have to have the training behind to truly be supportive of the people and the services or the clientele that you're trying to serve.
Right. And recently I heard you speak at the Muskoka Parry Sound Community Mental Health Association annual general meeting, and you came with a wealth of information, and I think all of us learned a lot that day. So you were talking about, for instance, some of the challenges that people face and the reason why it's important to raise our awareness collectively.
Well, I mean, just some of the statistics, like 43% of transgendered people attempt suicide.
Astounding.
And 30% of all suicides are LGBT individuals. So, mental health issues are a key challenge or hurdle for members of our community. So anything that we can do to raise awareness of people who are trying to provide support so people do feel supported and included and not so isolated and access the services that are available in the community.
So do you attribute that increased risk of suicide attempts to ongoing stigmatization? Is there discrimination? Maybe even issues of aggression or violence?
Who knows? I haven't done the research to be the expert on all the exact cause and effect. We just know that within our community, there's a higher rate of homelessness. Especially amongst youth, something like 26, I think, % of homeless youth are LGBT. So, if you end up on the streets, then you're not finishing school. You might be getting into addictions issues. Like, there's a whole other range of problems that happen if you don't have the support of a family and a community to provide that support. It's tougher to make it on your own, and so other mental health issues can come into play, whether they were there existing beforehand or are part of the stigma that comes, being in a rural area. There might be a bit more discrimination, but for the most part, I'd say we're lucky that we live in as an accepting community as we do. I'm sure there are people out there who have very strong attitudes against us, but for the most part, I just live my life, and people are accepting.
Right. And so was that part of the reason for founding Muskoka Pride? Was it to reduce isolation and give people a place to get together, to connect with others?
Matt Commandant is the founder of Muskoka Pride, and he founded it because there was a youth who was kicked out of his home. Oh. And he just decided, this kid came into contact with Matt, and he just decided it was enough. And so that was when he formed the first picnic, and everything has grown from that. And there are still youth who are being kicked out of their home for being LGBTQA, etc. But he trying to reach out to the youth. Like, there's this campaign, Yes, It Gets Better. But we have to show that. We have to be visible. We have to have something so that they know that we exist. I did a talk at high school in Gravenhurst, and the kids were, how can you be so out? They were just so surprised that I could be a gay woman and be very calm and confident in being that in the community and not feel that I needed to hide or... And this is today. This isn't...
2015.
Yeah, 2015. They were surprised that I could be that open about my sexuality and not be shunned because of it.
Intriguing. So that belief is still out there, that it's something that you should keep private, that it's not okay to share, or that you have to be careful about who you share it with, maybe.
Well, some of the youth today, they've got all kinds of new terms coming up, pansexual, all of these extra terms, as they're struggling to find ways to connect with each other that don't fit within traditional gender norms in terms of who they are and who they're attracted to. So they're struggling with that on their own terms, but there's a lot of pressure for how youth are supposed to be. Like, if you look at a group of young women, the majority of them will have long hair. The majority of them will have bleached blonde hair. The definition of who you should be and how you should appear, there's still a lot of social pressure on them in the high school environment, and bullying, as we know, can be an issue. So anything that we can do as an organization to reach out and provide examples of, who you can be, and it's okay to be whoever you are.
So that you don't have to fit the mold.
Right.
And we do know that high school is one of the times of the highest pressure to conform. And one of the things as humans we tend to strive for is to fit in. So this pressure to conform is intense in high school, of course.
Well, and with social media, there's even more pressure. Because when I went to school, there was a variety of hairstyles. Whatever looked good on your head is how you wore your hair. It wasn't like you had to conform to some external image of what it meant to be male or female. And for youth today, not only do they have these media images constantly bombarding them of who and what they should look like, any slip-ups they have, any can soon be all over Facebook. And
right.
We've all had those embarrassing moments. Luckily, mine didn't get captured on a Facebook post or a video or a picture. So only those people who were involved in my mistakes know.
Right.
They didn't make it through the whole school or the whole town.
And it didn't tend to be recorded.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I think kids today have a lot of pressure on them in terms of who to be and what makes them popular.
I agree. Privacy has shifted considerably.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like a great deal of the focus is on reaching out to youth.
We're careful trying to reach out in terms of we supported the GSAs, the Gay Straight Alliances within the schools. We sponsored their bus for the gay prom, or the gala, or whatever they called it last year. So we're trying to reach out and provide some support. We have talked within some of the schools. Our main hope is that the PFLAG group that's just starting, which is the Parents Friends, it used to be Parents Friends of Lesbians and Gays, but it now is a more inclusive group. They're also working to provide some support within the school system as well for families and
fabulous.
Students. Yeah.
So you're contributing to a broader effort.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, I think it's time that we just take a quick break and hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Heather Hay. Hi, welcome back to Transitions. I'm Anne Wagner, your host, talking with Heather Hay. And Heather, you were telling us about all the work you're doing, and you work in collaboration with other organizations to engage youth and to provide them with role models, would you say?
Information, resources, role models, just to know that they aren't alone.
Absolutely. And do you think that filters out beyond the youth, maybe to community and youth, maybe families as well, and gives them some new education?
We're there to answer any questions. Different organizations have called us, service providers who are dealing with their clients, and they don't feel that they have the training that they need, so they'll contact us. Sometimes it's people whose spouse has passed or is in a nursing home and have decided that they're now ready to come out of a closet that they've lived in for many years, and they don't know how to come out.
Sure.
Right? So how do they connect with other people in the community? So it's providing outreach and support to isolated people, whether they be young or old, or just regular members of the community.
Right. And so we're just coming up on a really important event.
Yes,
starting soon.
Well, today our kickoff barbecue in Huntsville is happening from 4 to 6:30 in Rivermill Park in Huntsville, and that's sort of the kickoff of our Pride Week festival.
And so a whole festival, so there's other events planned.
Yeah, we have events scattered throughout the entire 10 days. So it starts Friday, and then it ends with our annual picnic in Bracebridge at Annie Williams Park on Sunday, July 26th.
Excellent.
And it's from noon till 4. And it's open to all of the public. Anybody's welcome to come. We usually have over about 200 people who come.
Wow.
Family, friends, and it's a free barbecue open to the public, and games and prizes, and hope that anybody's interested, please come out and join us.
So 200 people, this is a well-established event then.
Yes, we've been very lucky. Last year we had all of the members of our different levels of government, our MP, our MPP, the mayor of Bracebridge, and also the mayor of Muskoka Lakes were there, and the chair of the district council came and joined us. So we're getting more turnout and support from all members of the community.
And so this is really a district-wide initiative.
It is. We've got events, so we start off with the kickoff in Huntsville. We've got a hike on the weekend and a camping experience at HQ Muskoka. And Monday is one of our big days. That's the flag raising that goes in all of the communities. We were very excited that last year was the first year all 6 communities or districts or townships within the district raised the flag, and they're going to be doing it again this year. There was a bit of controversy, but we got that all figured out with Georgian Bay. So they've actually purchased a flagpole, and that's where we're going to be starting our flag raising on Monday in Georgian Bay.
And so if people are interested in specific events, is there somewhere they can find the detailed schedule?
We have all of the events listed on our webpage, muskokapride.com, as well. You can find us on Facebook, and all of the information is available there as well.
Excellent. And we will certainly be posting that as well. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering about all the outreach that is being done to youth. Do youth turn up at these events?
Yes, we have a number of people who are either members of the community or children of members of the community or family members. And so it's a intergenerational event, our big picnic, as well as some of our other events are geared for younger people. Like we've got the mini golf tournament on Thursday, and we're going to be providing a float in the Santa Fest parade on Saturday. So that'll be hopefully just being there with rainbows and being present, making a
Right.
being seen.
So that really is a mark that there is acceptance in this community.
Yeah, I think I'm quite excited. We had a dry run of our float, shall we say, at the Barrie Pride Parade. We practiced there. We had to stop the parade a couple of times because our feather flags are big. we're knocking down power or phone lines, so we had to sort of do a little renegotiating there. But we think we've got all the bugs worked out for this. So it'll be on the 25th, which is when the Santa Fest parade. So we're going to have our little float as part of that.
It sounds quite elaborate if feathers are knocking things over.
There's those big feather flags. They hang off the back of the trailer, and they went a little taller than the lines on some of the back roads. So we should be good on the main roads.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be quite the event. Not to miss.
Well, and then following that is our wrap-up picnic, and by then we're excited to have everybody come out who's come out throughout the week of activities, and hopefully we'll be there to celebrate in a big free picnic with games and music. So we've got a live band this year.
Oh, do tell.
Mitch Bube. I can't remember the name of his band. I forgot it. He's going to kill me for this. But they'll be performing a live band at our picnic on the 26th.
Fabulous. Well, this sounds like a must-go-to event.
Yes, hope to see you there.
And then how does it work in terms of, is this the one big sort of event that's planned every year, this 10-day festival, or?
This is our main social event. We also do a conference. We had a workshop and then 2 conferences, so we'll have our 3rd conference in the fall. We usually hold that in Gravenhurst at the Marriott Hotel, and that kind of gives us a chance to provide some training to the different organizations who are looking for more information about how to serve the community.
Right. Okay. So you have multiple ways that you're getting involved with the community.
And then we have our sort of every month we try and have something social, whether it's a waffle brunch or coffee meetups in the past or different events that throughout the month or throughout the year we try and have different social things to get the community, to build more of a community, give people a chance to get together and get to know each other.
And since you mentioned 200 people are expected, I'm guessing this has built up over the years?
Well, I think if you looked at the first picnic photos, I'm not sure how many people were there. We're talking in the 10s and 20s, or I think in the photos of those who would let themselves be photographed. So I'm not sure exactly how many they had at that first picnic, but it was considerably smaller than the last couple of years. We've been around the 200 mark, which is excellent for us.
And given our population base, that's quite impressive.
And we do get people from out of the community who come, tourists and cottagers like to come to the picnic. They're so excited to see that we have this here. And I have to say that when people see the pride flags up in the community, it does matter for members of our community because they feel safe here. If they see a pride flag flying, they feel that, it's safe, because many feel that it's not safe to leave the city. And to go into a rural area, they're concerned for their safety. But seeing those flags flying lets them know that this is a safe and welcoming community.
Right. Good point. And there is that sort of persistent belief that if you're from a marginalized community or, you don't fit the mainstream, you're safer in the city where you can blend.
Right.
So you're really shattering those images of rural areas.
We're trying, there's a lot of people. We are a part of the community. Oftentimes our friends or family may know, but we aren't as public about who we are and who we're with and who we love. Our Pride Week is a chance for everybody to be seen.
Absolutely. And so what are the plans, any big plans for the future? Other than celebrating once the big festival is over and relaxing.
A nap. We're just growing bit by bit. We're trying to keep it sustainable. There's only so many people within our community doing the work, and so we don't want to take on more than we can handle effectively. So with the conference of the Pride Week and our various activities, it'd be great to get some additional funding so we could have more of a paid position or something like that to be out there. But right now we're all volunteer based and we all have many other roles and responsibilities. So we're keeping it manageable.
And do you accept new volunteers if someone listening were interested?
Yes, we'd love to have more help and volunteers. If anybody who's interested, please contact us at the muskokapride.com webpage. There's a contact us page there that we'd love to hear from them.
Fabulous. And as I mentioned earlier, people can also get in touch to learn more about Muskoka Pride website. You can now text the HBR Kia text line at 705-224-2527 and enter the keyword transitions. And we'll also post this information for listeners on our website.
Awesome.
Well, Heather, I want to thank you so much for coming in today and telling us about what's to come. And I'm really excited hearing about the next 10 days and what's going to be happening.
Hope to see everyone out at our kickoff event tonight in Huntsville, and then check out all the other events we have throughout the week.
That's wonderful. Thanks so much, Heather.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to Transitions. We'll see you again next week.